right, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson. This is the second weekend of SEC competition, and this is one of 4 games on this second weekend. This one has about it a component of early season critical. Let's talk about the quarterbacks. First of all, the spotlight on Jeremy Johnson of Auburn.
You know, Vern, I hate to be real critical of Jeremy because Jeremy needs help. Auburn is a running team, but when they throw, Jeremy was counted on to bring more than he has so far in this year. He started off a big shaky with his decision making in the passing game. And when he's made those mistakes, it's been big for Auburn. But this finish last week, I think, is going to be big for Jeremy. Look for him today to join the running attack for Auburn. I think they have to have him if they're going to be successful.
Well, Brandon Harris, the sophomore quarterback for LSU, gets his first start ever in this facility.
And he's got weapons all over the field. He's got receivers begging for the football. He's got plenty of talent, but he's got to get comfortable in the job. So far, LSU has been managing him in their first game against Mississippi State. But today, I look for Cam Cameron to let him go early, spread the field out, and perhaps even give a dose of that running quarterback that Auburn struggled with.
Auburn needs a running game. LSU's got one.
They sure do. I think everybody in the country would like to have this guy. Maybe the premier running back in college football. I predict that he gets at least 25 carries in this football game. And if Auburn can't start him from getting going, it's going to be a long day.
Well, on this early September afternoon, it is hot and it is humid right now at 92 degrees. And Allie LaForce is right down there in the heat.
Vern, the local weather forecast might say 92 degrees, but I have a thermometer down here on field level, and it's telling me that it feels more like 115 degrees. This thermometer is almost maxed out. In fact, we had the local CBS affiliate meteorologist tell me that this is the second hottest game to ever be played in Death Valley. One LSU player just told me that he can feel the heat from the turf coming through his fleet. It poses serious safety issues for both teams. They started taking precaution last night. LSU gave its players heat guard pills, basically a modern day version of a salt pill. They doubled the fluids. They put extra fans behind the benches, and they're using ice towels throughout the game. It's also a safety issue for all of the fans here. They were given paper fans as they walked into the stadium, but I saw one fan grab a hot dog box and just use that as a fan. They're grabbing anything they possibly can. We'll let you know how it affects the game as the game continues.
Well, next time you see us, I'll guarantee you the coach will be loosely worn.
Hey, a tempo could be part of this game. If Gus Malzahn could get the tempo going, the heat could be a factor.
Kickoff with Tigers against Tigers. SEC football on CBS. Last time Auburn won here, 1999. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Taco Bell, AT&T, Wheels Up,
It's Tigers versus Tigers, the SEC on CBS. The best game from the best conference.
And a moment ago, first on the field in Death Valley, the LSU Tigers ranked 13th. Their first game was canceled against McNeese State. They won last week at Mississippi State. The Auburn Tigers are 2-0, but shaky wins both. On the road or in Atlanta against Louisville, and last week at home against Jacksonville State in overtime. And moments ago, our Allie LaForce with LSU head coach Les Miles.
Coach, Death Valley is not kind to anyone, especially Auburn, who you've defeated 7 consecutive times here at home. What does your team need to do to make that 8?
Play like Tigers. Do the things that we came to do. Just relax, play to the emotion of the day.
Brandon Harris made his very first career start against Auburn last year. It ended in a 41-7 loss. Now he gets a chance at revenge. Why will it be different this time around?
Yeah, revenge is not what we're after. We're talking about playing our game and doing the things that we come to do, and relaxing Brandon Harris and saying, hey, just execute the play that we call.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Allie, thank you. Auburn won the toss. They have deferred the option to the second half. That means they will kick off. LSU will return. 50th all-time meeting. Daniel Carlson will kick off. He's put 9 of 11 this year into the end zone for touchbacks. Dante Jackson, number 1, is the deep man. He takes it, and he takes a knee. And now the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. We cue the cow and introduce you to Brandon Harris.
Extremely gifted athlete. He believes he's ready. More importantly, his team believes he's going to break out at any second. I expect they're going to let him throw early before the game mounts up with pressure.
Allie mentioned he had a disastrous game in his one start at Auburn last year. 3 of 14 for 58 yards, and 52 of those yards came on one completion. Fournette is the deep back in the eye. Breaks into the secondary. Watch out. Now he's got a one-man convoy. One guy has the angle, and he does bring him down. It was Jonathan Jones who cut him off. Nevertheless, a 71-yard gain.
So much for the passing game. Ha! One cutback and he's gone. One missed tackle from the secondary, and I'm shocked he didn't get in the end zone.
Might he here? No, he will not. He is up and over the top and stopped short. Well, plaudits to Jonathan Jones, who never
absolutely. I thought one cutback and he was going to walk in.
Yeah. Now Auburn making some defensive changes. Will Muschamp, in his second tour of duty as the defensive coordinator. There's Jones. Save 6 at least for now.
Well, Muschamp knew if he didn't stop the tailback, he had no chance in this game.
John David Moore is the fullback. He leads the way to the right side. And here's Fournette. He did not get in.
Nope. Stuffed up well by that Auburn defense. Made piles out of the last 2 plays. No movement.
Leading tackler then was Casanova McKenzie, who's off a terrific game. He had 13 tackles at home last week in the opener. And now John David Moore is out. They go with the second running back. This is Darrell Williams. And he will be the blocker in front of Fournette.
Seems odd. Will he be a carrier or a receiver?
Play action, option pitch. No. Harrison for touchdown. He faked the throw to Fournette and then took the option himself, and LSU is on the board.
Well, Auburn has struggled with the running quarterback in both football games, but they did well with first and second down, and this wasn't a walk-in, well defended, but just too much pressure, too many ways to run the ball or run the option, and that's an early dagger to this prideful Auburn defense.
Trey Domingue was 3 of 3 for extra points last week. He and Delahousie, Kobe, the field goal kickers in a spirited contest. And there's a chance we might see Domingue kicking field goals.
Yes. You know, Vern, Auburn loaded the box. They had their safety up there by alignment. That was one of those plays that a lot of teams check out of. LSU does not allow the defense to dictate their plays. If they want to run the ball, they're going to run the ball. Well, for a successful play, you got to have a little bit of everything. Watch William Clapp right here help his tackle and then get to the second level. But watch the umpire get another key block on Jonathan Ford. Double block by Clapp, and then the umpire takes out Jonathan Ford. So Brett Sowell gets 1 block, William Clapp gets 2 blocks, and Leonard Fournette gets a big game.
It's kind of an unfair advantage.
Well, that's one of the reasons the NFL has put that guy behind the line of scrimmage, just for that reason.
That is a pretty good tool for success. Here's the kickoff. Jonathan Ford will take a knee. And Auburn. Well, Jonathan Ford during the week was asked about Leonard Fournette, and Gary?
Yeah, he said, yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. First play of the game. Now, you know all week that this is what they've talked about. Jonathan Ford trying to get his team ready, leading tackler from a year ago. He knew he had to come up and fill that lane. Now he ran into the umpire. That was part of it. But that's a big play. Just an easy dive play to really put 7 points on the board.
Auburn first down 10. Jeremy Johnson, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in the first 2 games. Out of the gun. Jet sweep coming left for Ricardo Lewis. And he doesn't get much. Time now for the Chick-fil-A starting quarterback. And let's talk with about Jeremy Johnson.
How do they get Jeremy Johnson involved in this game? Remember, it's been running quarterbacks for Auburn that has produced big yardage against LSU in past games, and so far early in this year, LSU in the past has had trouble with running quarterbacks.
Peyton Barber is the starter. He comes left. He's not a speedster, but he really gives them an effort. And he's got a first down out to the 36. Braden Smith led the way around. Offensively, it's Coleman, Kozan, Golson. Avery Young was hurt last week in the win over Jacksonville State, but he is back. Quick flip out to the right side. This is Ricardo Lewis, and he is tackled as he gets to the 38-yard line. Defensively, for the LSU Tigers, Neal, Godchaux, Locouture, Bauer, Kendall Beckwith. Off to a good start, and Jamal Adams, they rave about his ability. Number 33. Second down and 8. Quick flip this side, and it's taken by Kerryon Johnson.
You know, it's pretty hot. We teed it up, Vern. You said the second hottest game of the year, and what does Les Miles come out in his jacket? He's the only one with long sleeves besides me and you for the Open in this stadium. Is he trying to do a reverse Woody Hayes? You know, Woody used to do the short sleeves in the 40-degree weather. Les is trying to go the opposite. It's not hot if I'm wearing a jacket.
Blitz from the corner. Johnson reads the hot man. He's got it to Kerryon Johnson. He dives after the contact, and that is an Auburn first down.
Well, you can see one wrinkle already that Auburn is going to try to employ in this game. They're looking for some big plays, and they're trying to find other players to get the ball to. And Kerryon Johnson, a true freshman who's finally healthy, is another guy they're trying to get big plays. I mean, this Auburn offense only has 4 plays of plus 20 for the season. That used to be a staple for them.
Yes, it was. Here's the pitch. Johnson had a great defensive penetration. Good play by Jamal Adams. We just highlighted him in the intros of the defensive unit.
Well, Jamal Adams is a special player. Everybody who's watched him play know that. Out at practice Thursday, Vern, it was basically a walkthrough, and I must have heard Jamal Adams say 25 times, let's get it going, let's pick it up, let's pick it up. He is so intense.
Barber is now back in. Whoa, that's a lateral. It slipped there, a fumble, really, not a lateral. It went right out of his hands. Oh,
and he had Jason Smith wide open over the middle of the field, but he just, in the high humidity, he just let it go. Wow. Well, he's lucky he got it back.
Yes, it was.
Usually, if you're getting any kind of pass rush, that's a turnover amount. Remember against Louisville, in 3rd and long, Gus Malzahn was upset with himself, putting Jeremy in a bad position to make a mistake in this situation. Let's see what the play calling is here. He needs to protect his quarterback early in this game.
That was a loss of 18. It's 3rd and 29.
Yep.
Johnson keeps it. They keep it conservative. And he gets positive yardage out near the 36-yard line. Tre'Davious White, number 18, a celebrated number for LSU. One player chosen each year to wear that number. It's a tradition that started with Matt Mauck down in 2003. Kevin Phillips is on to punt. Tre'Davious White, who wears number 18, he's the 7th player to wear that since Mauck, and the other previous 18s all vote on who gets the honor in which year. Kevin Phillips, number 91. Here's the punt. Fair catch. White comes up, lets it bounce, and it takes an Auburn roll. 43-yard punt, nothing on the return. Well, you could say, I guess, without any contradiction, it's the eye of the tiger. That is something. How about Northern Illinois? Their only loss to Arkansas in 2014. LSU gets the ball for the 2nd time. They went 75 yards in 4 plays in the opener, 71 of those yards on a gallop by Leonard Fournette. He goes to the left side. Quick flip, little screen. He's got 2 blockers in front. And he moves it out across the 30 near the 32. Casanova McKenzie, number 8, made the tackle.
Quick pass. This does not only help the quarterback get into the football game, kind of gets your offensive line a little respite on a play. You only have to block them a half a second.
Gosh, you got respite into the telecast early.
I was running out of words.
That was outstanding. John David Moore is the fullback. He leads the way for Fournette, who was tackled. And let's set the LSU offense. Brandon Harris, as we've said, this is his 3rd start. Up front, you've got a change at left guard. Mai Tahuma, a true freshman. Posick, the center. And Vidal Alexander, we had a chance to chat with him, and what an impressive young man is number 74. Said he was offered a scholarship as a freshman at Buford, Georgia High School by Nick Saban. But his folks were from Louisiana.
So he was all in for LSU, right?
Yeah. Williams is the tailback now. The toss. Well, they like this guy, too. I mean, he's not going to supplant Fournette, but defensively for Auburn, they're missing a key man up front. Carl Lawson did not make the trip. He's only played 1 half this year. Got injured in Louisville. Montravius Adams has played well in their first 2 games.
MVP so far.
Yeah. And down Blake Countess, who takes the place of the injured Jeremiah Holsey. Holsey tore an ACL last week. Whoa. Fagan Durrell.
Does that count as a pass?
I don't know.
I think it does. 2 for 2. Basically a jet sweep coming across, trying to get your playmakers on this team. Catch it bad. Oh, God, it was bad snap is the reason from Posick that time. Very, very fortunate. Remember, if that ball is dropped there, that would have been called an incomplete pass. So
right.
Not as dangerous as it has appeared.
3rd down. And 1. Out of the spread. Fournette is in the Wildcat. He'll grab it and run this way. Boom. He's down. 1st down at the 48-yard line. Let's give it.
I will say this. A year ago, this LSU team at Auburn was 0 for 13 on 3rd down in that football game. Of course, going into Auburn with an inexperienced quarterback, a good Auburn football team, they just were not ready for what they found in that game. 2 for 2 so far in this game. Controlling 3rd down. Will told me yesterday we got to win 3rd down. So far, he said 2 things. Got to stop Fournette, and we've got to control 3rd down. Neither one so far to start the game.
3 wides to the left. Handoff right side. This is Darrell Williams. Well, Lawson is the most significant injury for Auburn, but he is not the only one that is missing. Josh Holsey out last year, out for the shoulder. Trey Matthews had that shoulder injury in game 1. Thomas Robinson, Avery Young, they're all suited up today. But boy, did they miss the guy up front.
Oh, yeah, he's a difference maker. He makes everybody else up there better on their pass rush. But that's not the main problem, obviously, so far in this game. The main problem is getting it into a pass rush situation for Auburn right now.
Quick flip, left side. This one is caught by Darius Geis, a true freshman. Scramble for the ball. He appears to have moved the chain. And there's a injured player down. That's Devontae Lambert, the defensive end for the Auburn Tigers. Yeah,
completely away from the play, too, on the right side. Over here, you know what, was one of those run-pass plays, Vern, where the line is blocking a run play and the quarterback has the option of throwing it out there. So over here, Lambert is going, wait a second, I'm taking on a play, a running play, and you mean to tell me I did all this and got hurt and it wasn't even a running play? Modern football. Those are RPOs, run pass options, and the quarterback has the ability to give it to the wide receiver or whatever.
Well, he is walking off unaided, and I'm wondering now if he's not singing soprano. Looked like that might have been the injury. Gotcha.
I understand it. I'm sure most of our listeners do.
First down at the 40. Toss again. Here comes the sweep. Traven Durrell. He's got great speed if he can get loose, but he doesn't this time. Nice pursuit led by Tim Urban, number 22. Fournette is back in. Now here comes John David Moore, the fullback, number 44. 7-0. First quarter, 4:30 to go in the opening quarter of play. Fournette, 5 for 82, 71 of those on his first carry of the ball game. Second down. Harris, handoff Fournette. About 3. Never miss a moment of college football with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, and every highlight right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now.
Well, here we go probably for the first play. Now let's see what Cam Cameron has got dialed up for Brandon Harris, okay? Even though Harris has started off the game successfully 4 for 4, he hasn't completed a pass beyond the line of scrimmage yet. So now we've got a passing situation. Will they get a pass rush or will they throw the ball down the field?
Well, they've got 4 down, and it appears they are not coming. There's a twist defensively. Harris, he's got the ability to do this, and he is loose and out of bounds near the 10. Blake Countess finally got there.
Well, Will loves to chase those crossing routes with his linebackers. 2 Auburn players chase one crossing route, and that's the breakdown in the defense. That's a miscommunication in that Auburn secondary. One of the things talking to Will yesterday, Bernie said, when talking to my players after the last 2 games, they all said that this is the most defensive packages we've had. They asked him to cut it down, but they still make a mental mistake there.
27-yard gain on the run. Here's the toss. Interesting, they toss. Here's the Darrell Williams run inside the 5 and down at the 2.5-yard line.
One of the few teams that still do this, a toss with the quarterback and still an inside power play. Quarterback actually has a blocking assignment after he tosses the ball.
Second down and goal. Backs in the eye. Here's the toss again. This is Williams right side. Just short. There's a flag in the end zone.
Too many men on the field for Auburn. They got a taste of their own medicine. It's very difficult to substitute when a team is inside that 10-yard line. If a team goes hurry up, you can't get that last guy off the field.
Matt Leffler's our
There are
referee
2 fouls
today.
on the play. Offside on the defense, number 9. That penalty is declined. Substitution infraction on the defense. That penalty accepted half the distance. Replay, second half.
Yeah, Javier Mitchell, number 16, was the guy they were trying to get off the field. Mitchell finds out he's not in the thing, tries to run, but the ball is snapped before he gets to the sideline, and pick up an easy, well, at least another down attempt at it. The yards isn't as big as the down attempt.
Second down goal. Now the jacket
First charge, timeout.
Les Miles is out
LSU.
on the field. I wonder if Kathy has told him this morning, Les, it's 93 degrees out here.
He wore one last year at Florida. I remember the same situation.
Diego at Cincinnati, and Baltimore and Oakland, Miami at Jacksonville. They begin at 4:05. The whole day begins with the NFL today. JB and the gang, presented by Southwest Airlines. That begins at 12 noon Eastern Time. The home of Super Bowl 50. Let's check in quickly with Allie LaForce.
I have an injury update on Devontae Lambert. When he first came over and sat on the bench, he could barely lift his left arm up. It's clearly a left shoulder injury, but he's made so much progress. He went over to the training table, took the pads off. He can now lift his left arm straight up in the air. They're putting an arm brace on him and going to get those pads back on.
Well, there was apparently a misdiagnosis from the press box.
Dr. Lundquist, calling Dr. Lundquist. Usually that's me. That's why I'm laughing.
Well, Dr. Andrews is down there. He's a little more qualified than I. And there's the run on second down. Brandon Harris. Verizon Red Zone stats. 100%, 3 times, 3 touchdowns so far. Presented by Verizon. Third down and goal.
Interesting if what's Les thinking, the Mad Hatter, if he doesn't make this, will he go for it on 4th down?
Play action, Harris, he's got a man in the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Colin Jeter, the second string tight end, number 81. Young man who started his academic career at the Air Force Academy. Family illness forced him home. Played in junior college for a year at Kilgore. And he's in his first year here.
Well, that's something LSU fans do not see a lot of. In 2013, 1 touchdown pass to the tight end. Last year, Vern, none. So they're ahead of the pace.
Domingue with the extra point. It is up. And it is good. Lengthy drive, the highlight of which was Brandon Harris's 27.
One of the staples of goal line offense is the play action pass with the delayed tight end. Carlton Davis, number 18, true freshman, is the guy who just peeked inside a bit too much. And then Harris, Cam Cameron, and LSU produces a great 13-play drive.
14-0. Tigers lead Tigers. 14-0, the LSU Tigers leading the Auburn Tigers. They've dominated here in the first quarter, a 4-play drive, the highlight of which was a 71-yard four-net run and a 13-play drive of 78 yards, the highlight of which was a 27-yard Brandon Harris run. Trent Domingue will kick off, number 14. Kerryon Johnson, number 21, is one of the 2 deep men. He will get the kick and he will take a knee. Only 2 more days until the biggest premiere in the universe. You won't want to miss the first new episode of the season, The Big Bang Theory, on its new night, Monday at 8, 7 Central, right here on CBS.
Gus Malzahn has to find some help for his defense right here with his offense. Last week, Jacksonville State ran 89 plays to Auburn's 70 plays. It's starting to look like that could happen again, and they don't have the bodies in this heat to withstand that. They need to produce a drive now.
Jeremy Johnson in the gun. Peyton Barber is the running back. He gets the handoff, tries to spin out of the tackle, but he can't. That's Kevin Tolliver. He's a true freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida, number 2, and another of the highly regarded first-year players for LSU.
You know what's surprising on this team is Duke Williams, a go-to tough stop in college football, right here in the slot. He's just been no factor. Only 2 touches last week.
Johnson looks to the left and misfires. Yep.
When you don't have the playmakers in the backfield and they don't have the speed they've had before, then you got to find it in some other area. Yes, the quarterback's got to help. You got to hit that one, but you got to find players to help out this offense. Auburn feasted on big plays the last 2 years. This year, no.
3rd and 11. LSU, are they going to blitz? They're going to bring 5-6. Johnson out of the backfield's got a man at the 31-yard line. That's Stanton Truitt, a redshirt freshman. That is his first catch of the season, and it's enough to move the chain.
It's an interesting call by Kevin Steele. I mean, this is a great rush. It's a great rushing front, 4-man front. But in that situation on long yardage with a struggling quarterback, he kind of made it easy by giving him a man-to-man read and an easy throw. Good pickup on the block, on the blitz, and they move the chains.
Kevin Steele is in his first year as the defensive coordinator, replacing John Chavis, who's now at Texas A&M. Here's a toss on first down. It's Kerryon Johnson, who had 2 carries for the year coming in. It's Kerryon.
But he's healthy. Rock Thomas and Javon Robinson have been struggling a bit. Kerryon is finally healthy, and they need somebody else to help Peyton Barber.
2nd and 5 from the 42-yard line. Ricardo Lewis in motion across the backfield. They go to the right side, and Barber looks for a first down.
Positive play.
Yep.
Here's the tough thing for Gus right now calling this game. He likes to go hurry up, but he's got a hot day. His defense is having trouble stopping them with plays. By going hurry up, he could be playing to his defense being right on the field. So he's caught in between on what to exactly do with his style.
That's the end of the first quarter, 14-0 LSU. We'll return to Baton Rouge after this message and a word from your local station. We welcome you back to Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge. New capacity, 102,000. And look at this temperature on the field. It's lit. My gosh.
Yeah, and the far side stands. I mean, you're staring. That sun is beating on you.
And the far side
bench.
Yes. And will remain in the sun for most of the game. First down and 10, Auburn. Jeremy Johnson has a man coming in motion. That's Kerryon Johnson, but illegal procedure against the Tigers. Well, we welcome you back to Tiger Stadium. 14-0 at this point. Obviously, Auburn is reeling a little bit, but they've got something positive going here.
Plays. They need plays, and they keep the needed balanced on offense. The offense has to go, okay, but on defense, it's been the big plays. You talked about it. One big play from Fournette, one big play from Harris. I mean, that'll destroy a football team. You're playing good defense, and all of a sudden, they put over 100 yards on you in 2 plays.
On first down 15, Johnson. Center is Austin Golson. Quick flip, near side. Chandler Cox. Boom. Incomplete.
Yeah, Chandler Cox is one of those 2 freshman fullbacks that really has really worried about trying to find the rhythm of this team. He goes, you know, yes, Jeremy needs to play better, but we're very young at that fullback position. Was so important to this offense, getting experience there. Cox, a true freshman, just found out what it was like to get hit in an SEC football game.
And that tackle was made for the contact by Jamal Adams, number 33. Second time we've mentioned his name. Timeout is called by LSU. Game.
Gutted that out, started out slow and came on in that second half of that football game, no doubt. LSU used a timeout in a long yardage situation here. I think it was well worth it because LSU had the dreaded 4-3-5 defense. The 4-3-5. Vern, help me out there.
Oh, well, this is not A&M, but it's their own version of the 12th man. Second down. Peyton Barber is the running back. Going deep, double coverage, intercepted, picked off by Jamal Adams. No, he dropped it.
Now it's going to be reviewed.
Okay.
He did drop the ball. Now whether he came through with the catch, very interesting. Inside jump ball, catches it. 1, 2, 3, starts to turn and make a football move. Yes, the knee, the elbow hit the ground. They ruled it a catch on the field, and that'll be an interception.
That's the 6th interception thrown by Jeremy Johnson in 2.5 games.
Nobody's counting except for everybody.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the way I used to look at it.
Well, you even talked to Malzahn yesterday about how many were poor throws or poor decisions.
He said, I got to help him out, but, this is a tough league, and nobody feels sorry for you, especially after you just ripped up on this team a year ago.
Play action, Brandon Harris in the triple coverage. Oh, he laid his tight end out, Colin Jeter.
Poor decision there.
Yes, indeed. 3 men defending, and Jeter is down.
You have to blink forward, and Blake Countess, number 24, was out in front of the receiver. It's called looking where you're going to throw it, not where the receiver is. Stop it right there, guys. Where he's at, that looks good, but Countess come from the other side. You got to see the whole field when you're throwing, especially those crossing routes. In the middle, Jeter looks open, but the other side of the field, you're leading him right into the traffic.
Jeter is still down. He's the first-year player out of Texas who has the 1 touchdown catch in this game. We'll continue after this message and a word from your local station. We're back. Colin Jeter was able to walk out without assistance. He's getting some medical attention on the bench.
Vern, there's always clues. 2 safeties for Brandon Harris and nobody over the slot. That's going to tell you the defense is a zone. So when you get the crossing route right here, you got to look where your receiver's going. For example, as the receiver Jeter starts to go across, look who's sitting right here looking across the field. That's what Cameron's going to go to say to Brandon Harris. Brandon, you got a good arm, you got talent, but you got to read your keys.
Ball comes near side. This is Barry Williams out near the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
One of the good parts of that play was the way Blake Countess took the tackle, though. The new rule effect, remember, he was targeted a week ago out of the game. So he didn't go for the head, he went for the midsection on the tackle. So now, Colin Jeter gets the wind knocked out of him, but he doesn't get a concussion.
You got it. And just to update you, that targeting incident and the ejection occurred in the first half. That is the reason he is allowed to play in this game. He need not sit out. Set out the second half of last week's game. Here's Harris keeping it. Coming near side.
Good defense.
Yes, it was. Trey Matthews and Tim Urban. And we've got a little conversation going on now between, is that Chris Frost? I think it is, number 17.
Well, the seniors on this defense, Chris Frost, Casanova McKenzie, Jonathan Ford, even Montrevious Adams, who's a junior, the veterans need to help this team find their footing in this game.
Well, the Australian connection, as you look at the replay, continues now for LSU. Brad Wing was the first Aussie to punt here. He's been succeeded by Jamie Keane, who's the oldest player on the team, 76 years old. He's an effective punter, nice and high, and a fair catch called and taken at the 20-yard line.
That's old. 76 years old.
Did I say 76?
So is he 26?
Well, all of a sudden I put myself on the field.
That's old.
It's a subconscious.
That's a red shirt.
And a center here for David Brown, 89-92.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back LSU.
And on the Auburn sideline, much more petite. Here's Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. Behind me, these are the normal benches you'd see at any game here in Death Valley, but they did put fans underneath them to keep the players cool. It turns out Auburn requested to bring in their own cooling benches, but LSU declined. They said they didn't have enough power in the stadium, so Auburn said, okay, we'll bring our own generators. They still said no. It turns out the fire marshal put the X-nay on it, so Auburn was not able to bring in those benches. If you look on LSU's side, too, they don't have cooling benches, so it doesn't seem to be an unfair advantage in any way.
I really like that, Allie. Last week you responded to Keister, and tonight we get an Ixnay. Stanton Truitt on the reverse. He's got two blockers in front. Cuts it inside, is caught from behind, but a big gain and a first down out to the 38-yard line. Ricky Jefferson made the stop.
Again, there's Gus Malzahn looking for big plays. Remember, if you watch Auburn play football in 2013, they led the country, Vern, in plays of +10. Last year they were 8th. This year just 8 plays going in this game +10 yards. They need some big plays.
Peyton Water goes left. That's a little bit. Yeah, and Gus Malzahn was saying that yesterday.
Yep.
We just desperately need explosive plays.
Right. And it's part of it was a staple of his offense that he built in 2010. 13 and 14, but this year so far hasn't found it.
Second down, 8. Auburn's offense today limited to 53 yards.
You won't see that LSU defense move much.
No.
They get their calls, they stick with their calls. It's been a staple since I've been following this team.
Here's Johnson, right side. He's got it down and caught by Jason Smith, number 4. That will be short of the first down. Kevin Steele, the new defensive coordinator, was just recently on the Alabama staff. He was telling us yesterday he and John Chavis go back to the early 90s with their friendship. Is there much difference?
No. He said
philosophically?
He said it wasn't broke. I don't need to fix it. I just need to continue to coach it.
Third down. Daquille Williams, Duke, is in tight to the right. 2 receivers, top of the screen. Johnson rolls out, pulls up, fires it incomplete, too high.
Yeah, too high, but a struggling quarterback. Marcus Davis could have helped him out. I mean, that's one of those, and you're playing on the road, 14-0, and come down with that when it's a first down. Yeah, it should have been thrown lower, but those are the type of plays that you just say, come on, give me one of those catches.
Kevin Phillips will punt. Tre'Davious White, number 18, who, by the way, his nickname is Little Shaq. Had a chance to spend time with Tre'Davious yesterday. He said his dad was known as Shaq because he was tall and bald. High punt. Wow. See what kind of bounce they get. It goes into the end zone. And so that will be a touchback. There he is, Tre'Davious White, wearing number 18. Time call. Cameron, the offensive coordinator for LSU.
Well, he's got an offense that he knows has weapons. He's got a quarterback that he wants to keep fresh and diverse in the formations and the diversity of plays. You can see he's given Brandon Harris a little bit of everything, trying to keep that Auburn defense off balance. Wide receivers, jet sweeps, option plays, and then even the play action pass. Everybody knows that LSU wants to run the ball, but he must, Cam Cameron, to win the championship, he believes, stay diverse.
Well, he's got the ball at the 20-yard line, first down 10. Toss, left side. Wow. Well, approval for Fournette's run. Just to put a period to Cam Cameron's personal story, he shared with us yesterday that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer about a month and a half ago. He went back to Johns Hopkins and he said they saved his life. He had a procedure done, very open to sharing it. He was diagnosed with melanoma 20 years ago, and all of a sudden this thing reared its ugly head, but he's fine.
He was in great spirits, wasn't he?
Oh.
And why not?
Yeah, exactly. He said it feels good to be calling ball plays.
Exactly.
Second down. Up the middle she goes. Darrell Williams getting a lot of work in the first half.
You know, as you notice, Fournette does not start. He starts the game carrying the ball, but in the last few series he had not touched it much. Now they come back with him, and it's really the style of the way Les likes to build his football teams. Remember that 2003 great offense when Jeremy Hill, Kenny Hilliard, and Alfred Blue. It's been by committee a lot for LSU running the ball.
Back in the eye, and Fournette is in. Here's Harris with play action, connects with a receiver at the 45-yard line. That is Malachi Dupree. And it's time now for the Aflac trivia question. There is a flag. The last time LSU lost a day game at Tiger Stadium. You know, there's so much made about their record at night, which is enviable.
During the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 94, defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Devereaux Lawrence, who now gets to trot off and introduce himself to Will Muschamp.
And it wasn't even really, it was so far away from the play, too. Inside, he gets pushed down, and I didn't really see what happened after that, but obviously he must have retaliated after the play was dead.
So after the penalty is marked off, it'll be a first down.
Yeah, now it gets into a dangerous situation for Auburn because Cam Cameron would be very willing to use any play in the playbook now.
See what Auburn has dialed up defensively. They've got 5-6 men up on the line. There's a run blitz, and Fournette just keeps his feet chugging and works it down inside the 35.
Lawrence, number 94, is back.
Oh, gosh.
Well, he's lucky he didn't get thrown out. I'm surprised he did not get ejected.
Ethan Posick was the recipient of that. It's almost a slug, a fist to the face, not a hand to the fist. Second down. Harris, Fournette, first down at the 26.
Well, Will Muschamp, the defensive coordinator for Auburn, is not unfamiliar with Fournette. For Florida last year, he got a first mouthful of Fournette. He carried the ball 27 times last year against his Florida Gator team for 140 yards, almost his breakout game when he became the horse of this LSU backfield. He had a career high of 159, did Fournette. Last week in the win at Mississippi State, he's over 100 now, 9 carries. And he'll get it along again and comes left. You know, there's so many stories about the involvement of these young men in Katrina. This is the 10-year anniversary. Right. Fournette has a story about him and his family. His mom, his 2 sisters, his brother. 4 nights and 5 days with thousands of others on the Claiborne Street Bridge in New Orleans before they got rescued and got out of there. And his is not the only story among the young men on this LSU team. High formation. Toss. Lead block from Moore. Fournette to the 15-yard line. That might be enough for a first down. Chris Frost, number 17, is the first man there. He'll tap out now. That's a lot of carries in this thing, and they don't want to get him dinged or anything. You got to use him. He likes to lather up, and looks like Darius Geis is coming in the game. The freshman tailback who they just love and thinks he's going to be a spectacular football player. Wearing number 5. Can come out of the backfield. They say he can do it all and might be, as the, I know, it's hard to believe, the fastest back because Fournette's pretty fast. Play action. Into the corner. Trayvon Durrell is overthrown, incomplete. I wrote this down about Geis yesterday when we talked to Les.
It's not often you hear a head coach talk about a freshman like this. Well, first, the end of the play.
Yeah, just a fade throw to the outside, just a little bit through it where nobody else could get it.
And he said of Geis, he has unbelievable skills.
Right. We haven't heard anything like that since Jackson, quarterback for LSU, coach, kind of going out of his way to tell us about a player that's never played before.
Geis is still on the field. Harris comes near side.
Great read.
Nice tackle. Trey Matthews, number 28.
Yeah. Last time we saw Trey, he had that injured shoulder we talked about earlier. It's one of the transfers, obviously from Georgia. Veteran players. The secondary is somewhat of a concern. You know, without Hosley, one of their veterans, they play 3 true freshmen, 1 sophomore, and 2 transfers, along with Jonathan Ford.
Rudy Works. That's his nickname. 3rd down. Durrell and Dupree, 2 wide receivers wide.
How aggressively do they get with Harris here?
Well, there's the blitz. Harris got a man wide open and overthrows it. Whoa! Traven Durrell had 2 steps on the defender.
Ball was a little late. He threw it, he didn't time it out right, and he knew he was late with the throw. So when he tried to hurry it up, the ball should have been halfway there when he makes his break. Since he was late, he knew that window was going to get passed by, and that's why it sailed.
Trent Domingue will try his first field goal of this season and only the 5th of his career. Last year, he was 2 of 3 against A&M, missed the other. This will be from 32, which, if good, will be his career long. Now, we were alerted to the possibility that Domingue would replace Delahousie as the field goal kicker in this one, and he increases the lead to 17-6. Defensive line coach.
Yeah, along with Kevin Steele, Les Miles was able to bring in Ed Orgeron, one of the great defensive line coaches in all of college football, and he attracts good pass rushers. They come to him like magnets. Arden Key, their high recruit out of Georgia, said, I committed the day that Ed Orgeron signed at LSU.
Well, a former head coach at Ole Miss, then the defensive coordinator at USC, served as the interim coach after Lane Kiffin was fired, and was very disappointed that he didn't get the USC job. Made himself available, and here's a pooch kick, right side. Up and caught at the 28-yard line by Auburn.
It's interesting field position, being somewhat conservative, not trying to kick it long, especially when you're kicking it out of the end zone for LSU. And now you got Jeremy Johnson, who has, can't hide, I've been there. People show your replays when you have interceptions. And today, this was so poorly thrown. Inside the numbers on a takeoff allows the free safety to come over. When you've got elite athletes like Jamal Adams to come and go, they'll eat those type of throws up. That ball should have been outside the numbers at the very least. But, Vern, this is the time. Remember, Auburn gets the ball to start the second half. They could put together a 5-minute drive here and get the ball back. They could climb back into this football game right here.
On 1st down 10. And off left side, there's a broken tackle. And Peyton Barber scoots down the sidelines and is out of bounds, apparently with a 1st down. It is indeed move the sticks.
Well, that offensive line that's been counted on, been so effective. This time, Kozan coming around the edge. Well blocked and well run. And this ain't going to be pretty.
Johnson in trouble. He's in further trouble. And he's knocked out of bounds with a loss all the way back to the 39. Ricky Jefferson, number 29, first in pursuit.
I think it was Gottschall, number 57, that busted the play up early, and that really ended it. You know, maybe not the tackle on the play, but that spilled it to the outside, and then there was no way to run away from 11 defenders with this kind of speed.
And so now Auburn's looking at a 2nd and 17. And a quarterback who is 5 of 9 for a modest 30 yards in this game. And he's thrown a pick. Quick flip, left side, nothing. Well, something. Carry on Johnson, number 21. Lamar Lewis, number 11, made the tackle.
You know how they say, Vern, an offensive lineman, if you don't say anything about him, that's a good thing? Well, Kevin Tolliver, a true freshman corner, we haven't even mentioned his name. That's a good thing. When you're playing corner, you're playing bump and run man-to-man, and we haven't even mentioned his name. That's a good thing.
Rock Thomas is in the backfield. Chandler Cox sets up to the left side.
I don't think LSU is going to blitz on this one. Last time, 3rd and long, they did.
Yep. Bring 4. Drop 7. Johnson across the middle. 1 hopper, incomplete. Duke Williams, the intended receiver, he was somewhere in the neighborhood.
Williams and Jeremy Johnson were not on the same page on that throw. Johnson thought Duke Williams was going to come straight across, and Williams was going to the middle of the field. It was not on the same page at all.
That brings on Kevin Phillips. Tre'Davious White is at the 13-yard line. He's going to let this one go over his head. Something goes Auburn way.
And all 3 timeouts for Auburn. Again, they've still got an opportunity to climb back in this game with a stop here.
Well, let's get the duck back out here and answer the Aflac trivia question, which was last time LSU lost a day game at Tiger Stadium. And the answer is against Ole Miss, 31-13.
Wow, I am tired of those people complaining about us coming here and taking away their advantage of night games. Well, they're just as good in the day.
They are, yes.
That means they got a lot of good players, I think, right?
Are you suggesting that SEC fans are passionate about their team, no matter which city? But they certainly are here. What do you mean you're kicking off at 2:30? Les Miles is 11-0 in day games here, by the way. On first down. A couple of yards. Leonard Fournette back in. And I guess we should mention this, that Brandon Harris is seeking his first win in his first start here. The last 11 LSU quarterbacks who've made their first start at home have won each time out, 11-0. And Harris's team is leading 17-0. It'll be 3rd down. And let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Jeremy Johnson has been trying to figure out how he can better his game offensively. So he didn't start this game with a glove on, but then after he was struggling through the interception, we saw him put this glove on. It's nice and sticky. He thought it would help with his grip. Well, after that last drive, Coach Lashley, the offensive coordinator, came over, took it off of his right hand and threw it behind the bench and said, you don't need this glove. You need to figure it out mentally.
That all came also on Allie's report from the time the ball slipped out of his hand early in the game.
Yep.
So, you know, maybe an overreaction, but I'll admit, the passing game's not been there.
On 3rd down.
They got it.
Big. Yep. Brandon Harris spilled at the 45.
That's that running quarterback that has been giving Auburn fits. Jacksonville State, the keep here going the opposite way, design play, well blocked by Clapp again, number 64. Jacksonville State had 18 plays of plus 10 yards against Auburn's defense. 18.
That was a 33-yard game to complement a 27-yarder earlier by Harris.
And now it becomes a scoring opportunity for LSU instead of Auburn.
And the toss to Fournette. Gets a block on the edge from his tight end. And Blake Countess, number 24, makes the tackle. By the way, Colin Jeter has been back on the field. He was the tight end who was hit by Countess earlier in this quarter. but he has been back for 2 or 3 plays. Second down. Traven Durrell gets a bit of a block, but then he makes a heck of a move.
It's that talent outside. Durrell, Dupree, Trey Quinn. And he just takes Jonathan Jones that time and stutter steps him and gets away. And Durrell is 6'2", 203. Had a question to Les about Matthew Flynn, which was really funny.
Here's Fournette. One more tackle to break. He did. LSU touchdown.
I don't like to say this stuff because you get crushed by saying it. But if you're not reminded of Herschel Walker after that run.
I know that Bill Bates is sitting at home in Jacksonville, the Tennessee great, and thinking, I've been there. I remember Herschel running over me.
He's 230 pounds. He ran a ton, 10.6 100 meters in high school, and watch him run through the Auburn defense. And there were a couple guys on Auburn that turned the tackle down.
Capped by a thunderous 40-yard run from Fournette.
Pretty sure that was Buck Ballou tossing that ball back into the tailback that play. Could have been. It's exactly the same. I'll tell you that.
My gracious. By the way, Fournette now with a career high. He's got 169 yards. That's to complement the 159 he had last week at Mississippi State. That's a collision with his own teammate by Kerryon Johnson. That one had to hurt.
Well, I got to tell you, in the film room, Coach Will Muschamp will not be happy with Jonathan Ford. His effort as the free safety. Watch Jonathan Ford's effort on this play. He jogs across slowly and doesn't even lay out on the play. Blake Countess gets run over, but I can guarantee you when they're watching tapes, it'll be Jonathan Ford that hears it from Coach Muschamp. Inexcusable effort.
And here's Muschamp with his defensive unit. It was Jonathan Ford, widely quoted earlier in the week, saying Leonard Fournette will be no challenge.
305 yards offense for LSU in the first half.
Gee whiz. Sleep left. Javon Robinson. He's been injured, and Kendall Beckwith makes the stop. Well, coming up, we'll go back to the studio for our loquacious trio with Adam Zucker, Rick Bryant. Scores and highlights on the Geico halftime report. Second down and 10 with 94 seconds to go. Javon Robinson remains the running back. And they sweep it to the left side as Javon Robinson. Well, it has been a dispiriting halftime for Auburn, both sides of the ball.
Well, the question has been, going into this year, could Jeremy Johnson's new style of quarterback play replace the running quarterback style of Nick Marshall? Remember, the big yards that Auburn put up against LSU the last 2 years. In each game, Nick Marshall rushed the ball 30 times. He had 60 rushing attempts against LSU in 2 games. They're not getting any running production out of the quarterback.
4-man rush. They stunt inside. So Jamal Alexander, he was thinking touchdown.
Sure,
I promise you.
He was playing the money position in the dime package, which means he's playing basically the will linebacker spot on this. He's in the middle of the field, goes to the strong curl, and has an easy interception.
Well, it's been a nightmare again for Jeremy Johnson. That one should have been intercepted. and such high expectations. Yes. They talked about he was going to be the future of Auburn football, and he was so patient sitting behind Nick Marshall, and it's just been a terrible start for him as a full-time starter for this team. Well, there's a flag thrown. "41-yard punt." We'll see what the call is here.
During the return, block in the back, receiving team, number 26. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Aerial coverage today provided by Goodyear. For 60 years, Goodyear has provided aerial coverage of college football's greatest traditions and biggest rivalries.
I'm going to try to find some silver lining for Auburn, and it has to be for them to look back to 2013. Against this team, they were down 21-0 at half. But in the second half, they rallied. They found a new type of a play. They put in the zone read. They kind of turned their season around. Remember, that's a team that got to the national championship in 2013. So they figured it out. Remember that big win later in the year against, obviously, Texas A&M and then Alabama. But in this game, they were down 21-0 in the first half. Very reminiscent of where they are now.
Darrell Williams. And it's going to be a second down. That'll be the final play of the first half. All LSU.
It's so bad, Auburn will leave the field with all 3 of their timeouts.
Total offense in the first 30 minutes of play for LSU, 307. Auburn was 70. Let's go down to Allie, who's with Gus Malzahn.
Coach, 0 is not a number that Auburn is used to seeing. It seems like Jeremy Johnson is out of sync with his receivers. What seems to be the problem?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say right now. We got to figure out to run the football. We do got to get in sync in the passing game. Right now our passing game is god-awful, and we got to figure out a way to get some passes when they're there, and we got to be able to run the ball.
Almost all of LSU's success has come on the ground, over 250 yards rushing already. How do you limit that performance?
Well, we got to keep the defense off the field, too. It works both ways right there. We got to score some points to give our defense a little life.
Any chance you make a quarterback change?
We'll talk at halftime. We'll see what happens.
Back at Tigers Stadium, where the LSU Tigers have a comfortable 24-0 lead at the half. Auburn won the option, deferred the option till this half, so they will get the ball. Trent Domingue will kick off. Jonathan Ford and Blake Countess are the deep men. This will be 8 yards back. And a moment ago, Allie the Force with LSU coach Les Miles.
Coach, Auburn hasn't been shut out in the first half since 2013, but you got it done. How were you able to be so dominant defensively?
I think all 3 phases. If you watch this play, the defense was dominant to start the game. Offensively, we rushed the football. Leonard Fournette in the first scrimmage play, bust off for a long gain, almost a touchdown. And the special teams, we're making them punt. We're fielding those punts. If we keep playing like that, that's the recipe for victory.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jeremy Johnson is the signal caller on first down. This is Stanton Pruitt on the jet sweep. He goes to the left side. There was some speculation that we might see Sean White, at least for now. It's Johnson's team.
It's going to be a gut check for Auburn. I'm sure Gus Malzahn walked in that locker room and said, listen, LSU's not going to feel sorry for you. We are going to watch how you play this second half. We've lost games before in this conference and to come back. I'm going to watch how you play the second half of this football game for the rest of our season. Who's going to play and who's going to get snaps.
Keep it on the ground, go left. That's Rock Thomas. And the pile is still moving. How about that? Yeah, went to a football game and a rugby scrum broke out. They have marked it down at the 38-yard line. That's good for a first down out to the 38-yard line. Johnson out of the shotgun, first down 10. Truitt to his right. Carry on Johnson is to the left. Here's Johnson in trouble, caught and dropped. Deshaun Bauer, number 46.
Well, Tre'Davious White that time, Vern, he saw the peeling guy come on the wheel, but watch White get looking inside. He shoves off, and then he falls off. Nowhere to throw the ball. Keep it in front of you, nowhere for Johnson to go with the ball. Sack.
Second down, 13. 4 receivers out. Design quarterback draw. Oh my goodness! Now he does not have great speed, but he's got a chance. Touchdown, Auburn! Out of nowhere.
Running quarterback. This Auburn offense doesn't work without one.
Well, obviously at halftime, he woke up and thought he was Cam Newton.
You bet. And, you know, he does run under 4.6, Vern. He's not one of those dynamic runners, but he's got good speed. And that time, Jamal Adams runs around a block, gambles a bit too much, and that allows what would have been a big play to be a touchdown play.
Daniel Carlson for the extra point. And all of a sudden, the most unexpected of plays from a quarterback not known for his running ability. 65 yards on the quarterback draw. That was Braden Smith leading them downfield. 24-7. 50.
That's got to feel good to that Auburn football team. A quarterback who's struggling. Now that quarterback makes a play, and all of a sudden, you know, Les is doing an interview with Allie, which obviously he has to do, and he's talking about everything looks good, and all of a sudden now it's football game again.
Well, they've got a new kicker on now, and they go for the onside kick, a pooch kick, and it's taken easily. Will Hastings came on and kicked it right into the hands of Colin Jeter.
Kevin Steele has his combo defense out. Linebacker here, linebacker there. They both are playing combo. Watch Jamal Adams right here. He's the guy that plays the inside, has a chance, jumps around the play. When he jumps around the blocker, that creates the opening. Instead of it being a 20-yard play, it ends up being a touchdown play.
Well, the recovered pooch kick by Jeter. And here comes Brandon Harris and the LSU offense. Well, a little good feeling for Jeremy Johnson. 65-yard run, by far the longest of his career. Toss right, Fournette. He's got 2 blockers in front of him. He's got a little speed, doesn't he? And he's down to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, got a late hold, I think, on that play.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist, number 74, offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Dell Alexander, the tackle, pulls around the outside, and once he gets into the secondary, you can't throw like that. So that could have been a obviously bigger play, but you know, the adjustment, as you can see, Alexander right there throws inside on McKenzie right there, and it could have been out the back door. You know, the adjustment that the Auburn offense makes to run the quarterback, that's pretty easy. I don't know what adjustment you make if you're Will Muschamp. I mean, you've had 8 men in the box. They played man. They blitzed. When you get blocked at the line of scrimmage and the tailback running, not a lot you can grab.
Here's the toss near side. And Fournette gets around the corner. Look at him bull over the defender. That will elicit roars of triumph and adulation from this crowd that exceeds 90,000.
Well, I had a couple guys in the press box come up to me, longtime LSU watchers, and have been watching LSU football for probably 56 years, and 50, 60 years. And they've said they think that Fournette is the best back that's ever played at LSU. You know, there's a retired name up here on this stadium. But, I mean, Leonard Fournette is now into the area where he could be an all-time great for LSU.
Darius Geis after that first down of 20. Here's Harris being chased. He goes it right side. What a throw. What a throw. It is ruled incomplete, but nevertheless, Malachi Dupree, number 15.
Yeah, and this ball should have been caught by Dupree, because this is as an athletic throw as you can make. Going to your right, off your back foot, about a 35-yard throw right there, and maybe their best receiver just drops it. I mean, you got to think again about Fournette. I mean, a 10.68 100-meter in high school. Fournette, you were talking about Alexander, the first ever player in LSU history who was offered a scholarship as a freshman football player.
Offered by Frank Wilson, a recruiting coordinator here. And time is taken by LSU. 24-7 is our score. Saturday afternoon in Death Valley. Sponsored by Aflac. Sonic. Verizon. And by Rent.com. Second down and 10, 24-7 LSU. Gary, take us through the game trends.
Well, you don't have to see the stats to know that number 7 is a big part of this football game. And again, if you can't stop the downhill tailback, you're in trouble. Jeremy Johnson struggled first half. Gus even said he might think about a quarterback change, but second half he pops a run, and all of a sudden Auburn goes from at least embarrassing stats to being in the football game. They just stopped, though. He just stopped right here and gets football back. I think Gus was right when he talked to Allie Vern at the end of the half. His offense has to help his defense. It's not going to just be a defensive. It's not going to shut this offense out the way Fournette can run the football.
It'll be second down and 10. Brandon Harris will go from the spread. 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. And off. This is Darius Geis.
Look at that.
Number 5.
That jump slashing move right there. Talking to Cam Cameron about him and Les Miles, he said, you know, the high school team he played for really didn't even give him that many rush attempts. He came here, first scrimmage, we knew he was going to play.
That was a gain of 15. That's first down now. LSU with under 12 to go, third quarter. Darius Geis remains on the field and gets the handoff. Cuts back to his right. He is clobbered as he gets inside the 30-yard line. Ouch.
Well, he can really jump around, can he? He's not a small back either. He's 222 pounds. He looks short, but he is stocky and strong. And boy, as Vern told you earlier, the coaches could not stop talking about him. I mean, with Williams, Fournette, and Geis, that's another 3 group.
Yes, it is.
Embarrassment of riches.
Here's Fournette, lead blocker. He's into the secondary. Spills that guy, sheds that one. Another touchdown for Leonard Fournette. Man, oh man.
I got 2 thoughts that nobody's going to want to hear. Number 1 is, can you send in your Heisman ballot now? And number 2 is, you know he has to play college football another year? Because this guy's could play at any team on any level in the NFL. He would be a star right now.
Doman with the extra point.
I mean, this was like the bull through the matador cape right here. I do not blame Trey Matthews for trying to go high, but it didn't work.
What a highlight reel. Time call. You don't want to miss. Stephen Colbert goes one-on-one with Donald Trump this Tuesday on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It's worth another look, I think.
John David Moore is not the #1 recruit, the fullback right in front of Fournette. But watch the 4.0 walk-on clear the way with a great block, and then Fournette jumped to the outside. Look at that. A 230-pound running back. You know, I mean, I know it's almost hearsay to bring up those Herschel Walker, but you know who he does remind me of is Adrian Peterson. Peterson ran with that type of intensity, size, speed, even as a freshman at Oklahoma, and obviously still today in the NFL.
Well, Cam Cameron brought up LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't either.
No. Maybe they're both being great people.
Yeah, but the size is different.
No, it's a different style. But, you know, that's the way Adrian Peterson ran the ball downhill at Oklahoma and still to this day does.
Now think about his journey. Grew up in New Orleans, as we mentioned earlier. He and the family marooned on the bridge during Hurricane Katrina, relocated for the moment to Slidell, Louisiana. They ultimately wound up in Portland, Texas before they got home. Johnson at the 21. Devon Gottschall made the tackle.
Gottschall's right here, but it was a blitz from the outside, a run blitz that time by Kevin Steele. You know, the improvement of this LSU team from a year ago, early in that season, they really struggled. Gottschall and Lacouture were the two guys inside those two tackles that really matured at the end of last year, and now they're legit inside.
Second down and 14. Sweep to the left side. Ricardo Lewis tries to cut back, and he's 1 yard short of the original line of scrimmage. And it's Christian Lacouture who makes the tackle.
You can almost see it, Vern, without the running threat at quarterback. The LSU players are not having any trouble with any of the shifts and the motions and the jet sweeps. They're just running to the guy. They're saying, all right, if you want to run the quarterback, go ahead. I mean, they are not at all accounting for the quarterback in the run game. And that's why it's been a struggle for this style so far, this Auburn rush offense.
Third down, 11, rollout. Johnson goes back and throws a one-hopper.
Had to, a trick play, gadget play. Interesting call on third down, kind of a throwback screen that time. The line stalls. They do not even move that time, but LSU had no part of it. See, they don't move. LSU sees it, reads it, and forces Jeremy Johnson just to throw it in the dirt.
That's going to bring on Kevin Phillips, the punter.
I think Gus Malzahn is going to have to look at a wildcat formation as the season goes along. He's going to have to come up with something else to help his run game.
This is Tre'Davious White fielding the punt. Gets my goodness. Wow. Devin Voorhees got the block on the special teams. 23-yard punt return by Tre'Davious White. Watch the block. Right there.
Another true freshman.
And another story from Katrina. He and his family took the mattress off their bed and put it in the floodwaters and floated to safety.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, he floated into this LSU program as a #1 ranked player in the state of Louisiana. A true freshman receiver. He's wearing that number 3. Wonder why he wanted that number. At the end of practice yesterday, Vern, they played Frank Sinatra's New York, New York. A little tribute to OBJ.
Wow. On the reverse, this is
Dante
Jackson. Makes a couple of tackles, and he's got a first down for 39.
Dante Jackson, another recruit. Two-time state 100-meter champ. He plays defense, but he was the #1 athlete recruited out of the state of Louisiana. two-time 100-meter state champ. They recruit pretty well here.
I've noticed that over the years. Traven Durrell is back on the field. He and Malachi Dupree go to the right side, and the running back now is Darrell Williams. Williams, a rare miss. And a little more on Leonard Fournette. Let's go down to Allie.
Vern, he is all smiles down here on the sideline as most of the offense rose off of the bench, went to the sidelines to watch the action. He stayed on the bench. He needed a little bit of a breather after all of that hard work he was putting in out there. So teammates one by one were coming up to him, shaking his hand, congratulating him on the game that he's had so far. He even turned around and waved to a fan who was yelling his name behind him, just trying to soak up the success so far.
Why not, huh? He's got 227 so far. The school record for a single game is Ali Broussard, 250 in 2004. Harris caught from behind, dropped at the 35-yard line. Devereaux Lawrence makes the tackle.
Another one of those zone reads. Remember last week against Mississippi State, Brandon rushed 9 times for 48 yards. Some of those were scrambles, but they did read the zone. They did have the zone read play, and that's exactly what it was right there.
3rd down 6. Williams alongside Brandon Harris. Tip incomplete. Well, there are 2 Fournettes playing for the LSU Tigers. One, of course, is Leonard Fournette. Here's his younger brother. This is Leonard Fournette. And he said he's very comfortable with his status as the lesser talented of the two. He's had to grow up with it. 5'10", 187-pound freshman. Younger brother, Leonard Fournette. And here's Jamie Keene, the 76-year-old punter.
Yes.
If you're joining us late, I said he was the oldest player on this team, and I anointed him as a 76-year-old instead of a 26-year-old.
That's even old for BYU. That's a long mission. That's a long mission.
Just to show you the depth of my research, Keene never played Australian rules football in high school. His 2 specialties were throwing the javelin and rowing.
Wow.
I mean, you know, been on the road for a while.
Very good.
They are.
Pretty soon we're going to start talking about that game you did Dallas Giants.
Yeah, well,
the score gets any wider.
We could do that. Fair catch. Well, the SEC spotlight shines tonight in Tuscaloosa, where the Ole Miss Rebels, they've scored 73 points in back-to-back games. They've not played Kirby Smart's defense.
Yeah, right.
And,
well,
of course, they knocked off Alabama last year.
My take on this is if if Ole Miss can find some part of a running game, their weakness is the tailback, running back, runner. If they find a running game to help Chad Kelly, they have a chance. But that's easier said than done.
31-7. Running back, that's Kerryon Johnson, a freshman out of Madison, Alabama.
Just to talk about, I don't want to get lost in numbers, but the importance of the zone read to Auburn. In 2014, they were the #1 team running the zone read play. Now, in all of college football in 2014, 130 yards per game. Okay, Vern?
Yep.
Of that, the quarterback averaged 38 yards per attempt when he rushed it off the zone read. This year, coming into the game, Auburn with the zone read, 49 yards a game, and the quarterback is averaging -5 yards per attempt, minus half a yard per attempt. That's a huge difference in their style of attack that so far Auburn has not been able to bring to 2015.
Well, there's Gus Malzahn, who's charged with solving the riddle. And so far, no way. Here's Barber. Again, you look at Fournette and the quality of the running back combo at LSU, and there's just not that kind of talent present for Auburn. Fumble. Ball's loose, still loose. It's recovered by LSU. The nightmare continues for Jeremy Johnson.
And Frank Herron, number 97, made an unbelievable play. He got off at the crack of the snap. He was off almost as the ball was moving, and they could not stop his penetration. I think that's him right there. Might be one more inside.
Nope,
yes.
it was.
Yeah, one more inside. He gets there, he disrupts, and I'm telling you, Ed Orgeron, if he's allowed to, will kiss him on this one, because that's exactly what he wants from that front. Sophomore, 6'4", 290 pounds. Did you see that get off right at the snap? Herron's in the backfield. And there it is. There, everybody else trying to kiss him, I'll tell you that. Look at that.
Oh, dear. And so, first down goal, LSU.
Yeah, that is quite a play. On the sideline, I'm watching it. They are really loving it.
On first down, it's Darrell Williams, and he surges down near the goal line. It'll be just short. Well, how about making amends for a 41-7 defeat last year in this game?
Coming right at you. Power play. Takes it into the secondary, falls forward. Darrell, probably the most power. Well, that's hard to say.
There's Orgeron.
At least tied with power.
Yeah.
Fournette.
Yeah. And Fournette is back on the field. Here comes Brandon Harris.
Not good not to have the quarterback out there.
No. High formation. Fournette, the deep back, gets the toss. He's got a touchdown. 37-7.
I think Brandon Harris thought it was Wildcat. That's why he was surprised, because they do the Wildcat. And oh boy, that's the danger. You know, they don't, I mean, you run the ball, this could happen at any time, obviously, but this game is over. He takes a shot, looks like the helmet right to his knee as he flies up. Yeah, it looked like a helmet went right to his right knee. Whether it's Jonathan Ford, is that who it was?
We believe so. Extra point by DeMang is up and through, but we'll pay close attention to this scene.
Yeah, and it's been so... I mean, the SEC has been shocked by their great running backs the last few years getting injured. Great careers. He looked like he caught it on his left knee there. And, with Marcus Lattimore and Todd Gurley, and the whole conference is holding their breath on this elite athlete.
Well, Leonard Fournette on the LSU bench, getting a little massage on his left knee. But that's all. So we'll check in just a moment.
Well, that obviously was a play where, the game was in control. I think that was one of a stat builder for Fournette, and everyone's holding their breath.
DeMang will kick off. It's 38-7 with 4:14 to go in the third. Kerryon Johnson and Blake Countess are the two deep men for Auburn. This one will be returned. It's Kerryon Johnson from the 1. Nice. Even nicer. But he's down at the 42-yard line. Duke Riley, special team star, is the man who made the tackle. Another look at the touchdown, Gare.
Well, he goes in the air, and a helmet can happen at any time, right on that left knee or thigh.
Let's go down to Allie.
Leonard Fournette is now riding the stationary bike, and he doesn't seem too concerned at all. As the training staff was feeling around in that left knee, he kept shaking his head no, as though he's not feeling any pain, but they want him to keep it loose, don't let it stiffen up. So right now he's riding the stationary bike.
All right, Allie, thank you. First down 10. Auburn Tigers trailing 38-7. Johnson handoff. It's Rock Thomas. And a big gain over left guard to the 40-yard line. Kendall Beckwith made the tackle.
Well, Rock Thomas was a 5-star recruit a year ago for this football team, following a good block by Cameron Petway, that time number 36. Gashes inside. And Thomas finally showed a little bit of that explosiveness that the Auburn people were been waiting for.
3:40 to go, third quarter. Give it off again to Rock Thomas. Well, Kendall Beckwith made the tackle on that last picture. He's become a standout defensively. Let's go back a few years. This is Kendall Beckwith with Les Miles at the Tiger football camp. He's grown a little bit since then.
So he was, what, 11?
10 and a half.
10 and a half.
Yeah.
He only had 3 SEC offers. Isn't
that amazing?
Yeah.
Here's Johnson.
Oh.
Wow. How about that? Rock Thomas inside the 20.
That was a broken play. Defense perfectly again by Tre'Davious White, number 18. Same wheel route, same defense. Had it stopped completely, but Jeremy Johnson kind of runs through a tackle and dumps it off very nicely in a positive play for Auburn.
First down 10 at the 19-yard line. Kind of an overwhelming stat in favor of LSU, 26-2. Sweep to the left. It's Rock Thomas again. Not much there. Deion Jones, number 45, with the stop.
Jones made the stop. Picked up at the mark. Balls on the 18,
Second and 9 from the 18. Up the middle, Johnson, nice move. And he picks up the first down. Well, I think. Let's see where they spot this.
Pretty close. Brandon Smith, same play that Johnson scored on earlier. Brandon Smith wrapping around, quarterback draw. Same exact play, almost same defense that they caught that time. And this time produces a first down instead of a touchdown.
It's a first down.
First down goal, Auburn. Right side, Rock Thomas. Oh, no, he kept it.
Oh, look at
Johnson.
the Alabama play.
Wow.
With Nick Marshall that sealed it late, remember, or tied it late.
Melvin Ray. Well,
I don't know if he was across the line of scrimmage or not. I'm sure the line is blocking that as a run play. That's one of those plays that the defensive coaches are really pulling out their hair about. Did he get across the line? Line's at about the 9. He's going to run it. He's going to keep
the rolling on the field. There is no beyond the line of scrimmage by the quarterback. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Yes. His whole body has to be across the line of scrimmage, and it looked to me like his trailing foot was on the blue line. So he goes. Now he's part of the ball's ahead of the line. His body's ahead of the line. It probably will be reviewed, but I still think his foot trailing might be in the area. Crazy play, is it?
Yeah.
Try to stop that one. Read your keys on this one.
Another look here.
LSU defends it. One more run. The 2 players come in on it, and all of a sudden Tre'Davious White says, what? He's still allowed to throw? I think his left foot is behind the line. Actually, when he starts to throw, the ball might be right there too. I mean, look at how far the linemen are downfield. I mean, when that ball is thrown, the linemen are they're allowed to go 3 yards down, but to me, that rule's got to be cleaned up. I think the most they should be is have to be engaged 1 yard. You got linemen being 3 to almost 4 yards downfield. Brandon Smith is inside the 5-yard line on this play. That's over 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. Ridiculous.
John Bible, excuse me,
Yes.
Gary. John Bible is the replay official.
And the lineman downfield, I don't believe, is reviewable. I know the college rule is the entire body has to be across the line, but it could have been called a lineman downfield. I mean, that was an easy call if the officials could have seen that. The ball's thrown. Look at, here's a lineman more than 4 yards downfield. If you're a defensive player, you read that as a run. That play has to be cleaned up in college football. His left foot is right behind the line or close to it. Rules are the rules, and I think this one's going to stand.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown, Auburn.
Yeah, his left toe in the air, not even on the ground.
Right.
Like the plane of the goal line. I mean, everything touching the ground was past the line, but his trailing foot in the air is what kept him behind the line.
May I suggest,
please?
I'm glad this was not a game-deciding touchdown.
Well, it was close to that for Alabama Auburn a couple
Yeah,
years
you're
ago.
right. Yes, indeed. Daniel Carlson. The extra point is up and good. 1:03 to go in the third. 38-14 by Goodyear. For 60 years, Goodyear has provided aerial coverage of college football's greatest traditions and biggest rivalries.
Be interesting. Auburn has a chance. Obviously, got, time in this game. Might not see Fournette anymore. If they can't stop LSU with their backups in a tailback, Auburn's got problems. Can they get a stop? Will Fournette play anymore?
My guess on the second is no. Apparently dodged a bullet with the helmet on the knee, on his left knee. Carlson will kick off. This will go left, and thought about it. Did Dante Jackson. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studios for an Advocare update. Leonard Fournette in a relaxed posture right now. Looks like he might be through for the day. Darius Geis is on the field now, number 5. Brandon Harris for the day. 8 of 13 for only 40 yards. He's run effectively twice. He flips it out right side. Traven Durrell breaks the tackle and has a first down at the 37-yard line.
Here's the thing about Fournette. I mean, I don't know if there's a big hurry or something to get him back in the game. I mean, they could also rest him the next 2 weeks if that's a bruise. See, that's one of the advantages we were talking to the LSU coaches about. That's how college football basically, instead of going running back by committee, they have games that they don't need him as much. So even if he's got a bruised knee, he could go almost 3 weeks before he has to play again.
Here's the sweep to the left. It's Geis. And a modest gain. Trey Williams, number 30, was the first guy there.
LSU will probably let this go all the way till the fourth quarter and play the clock a little bit. Get it into the fourth quarter. It looks like LSU now, if they play this brand of football, I think they're looking at and all their fans are going, you know what? We could go into that Alabama game undefeated. Because the schedule looks like it's possible.
End of 3 with our score 38-14 LSU. We'll return to Baton Rouge right after this message and a word from your local station. We welcome you back to Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. LSU leading large, 38-14. As we begin the fourth, Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce, and the remainder of our crack CBS crew here in Baton Rouge. Here's the toss to Geis, and he gets a couple over the right side. I'm just curious about, obviously, Leonard Fournette, but what else has impressed you today?
I guess the depth of talent they have. You know, they've reloaded on the defensive line. The new style that Ed Orgeron has brought, they're more attacking. They seem very committed. That season last year when they went 8-5, I think that kind of ran through this. But are you going to concentrate on the fourth quarter, or what is this doing right here?
I can't believe that's not mine.
We got to concentrate.
There was a peanut butter cookie, and you took it. I saw.
We've got to finish this thing out.
Look at this. It's just snack time. What? This is not mine. It's not mine.
Me does think you protest too much.
Oh, I like this. There's possibility. Oh, you snuck that one. No wonder you were smiling.
You're legendary. You know, there are stories about how some of your timing and calling plays is that you have the ability to call the game and eat at the same time. You know, that's a legendary thing.
That's terrible.
1st and 10.
Chomp. Oh, my goodness. No wonder you were grinning like a Cheshire Cat.
Listen, big score, you got to have props.
Nick Brosette is the running back. Now think about this. You've got Fournette. You back him up with Darrell Williams. Then you've got two freshmen, Darius Geis and Nick Brosette. Raytheon.
Brosette is right here from Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play action. Left side completed. John Diarse, number 9.
Diarse is one of about 6 receivers. When you watch them in practice, Vern, they all really look, pattern, good receivers, good speed. Diarse is one of a little bit bigger than the other guys in body type, but another great target. And you see Brandon Harris, just a few throws. His timing and reading on his routes have still got a ways to go. But if the running game can work this way, there won't be a lot of pressure on him to make those big throws under the proper timing.
Brosette goes left. Gets a block from Braikithian Mouton, number 47. And it'll be a 2nd down. Well, Auburn's got to regroup. They're going to be 2-1 out of this.
Right.
And they go back home. They've got Mississippi State at home next week.
I think that's a good team for them to get healthy against. Without Josh Robinson, the tailback for Mississippi State, turned pro. And that really, I think, caught Mississippi State and Dak Prescott shorthanded a bit. They really needed him to return.
Geis is back on the field. He gets the toss. Runs into, oh my goodness, he doesn't run into anybody.
Look at that.
My gosh! He's down short of the goal line, but what an effort.
The explosive quickness of Geis is so impressive. I mean, this is high-level competition, and this guy is compact, quick, strong, great receiver out of the backfield. He's going to be a future star.
And Les Miles will just reiterate, said yesterday, his skills are unbelievable.
Right. He right now is voting for a change in the rule that Fournette can turn pro after 2 years. He's going to say, just look how old he looks. He looks like he could play NFL ball.
Geis stays in there. Oh, look at this. Stroll in untouched. Brandon Harris, touchdown. The game has gone into the 40s.
Auburn was attempting to call timeout, and they could not get the officials' attention. Probably a little bit about nothing at this point. Almost a busted play on this play, and Harris just runs it around the outside and untouched.
2010, Auburn ran for 440 yards against LSU. This afternoon, after the extra point is up and good, LSU has rushed for 409 yards.
It's a good stat.
Brandon Harris, untouched. 99. And the kick. Kerryon Johnson will bring it out. Does a hurdle. And he gets to the 30 before he's tackled. Well, our group is going to go to Gainesville next week, and we're all looking forward to this as the Volunteers of Tennessee come in to take on their traditional foes, the Gators of Florida, next Saturday afternoon. It all begins with the Auto Trader College Football Today show. That starts at 3 o'clock Eastern time.
And that's where it all started for us, Vern, right?
Yes.
2006, our first game, Tennessee, Florida, and it's been a while since we've done that game.
Yeah. Gary and I working together for the 10th year, and this a celebration of the 20th season of the SEC on CBS. First down 10. This is Rock Thomas.
This payback this year after LSU put 566 yards up a year ago, but has more of the feel of the 2010 game. Remember when Cam was at quarterback and Auburn rushed the ball 52 times in that game for 440 yards. LSU has a chance.
They do. Second down here. We've still got 10:40 and the clock winding down to go in this game. By the way, the stands are emptying out. They do love their evenings in Baton Rouge, even if it doesn't involve football. Some folks are getting an early start. Time called. Auburn. 10:26 to go in the ball game. 45-14. Remaining. As we mentioned, this is the 20th anniversary of the collaboration between SEC and CBS. And let's take you back to, Gary mentioned this, Cam Newton for 217 yards in this ball game.
It was, and this was the breakout game, I think, for Cam Newton's run at obviously the national championship and his Heisman. That signature run right there when he ran away from Patrick Peterson and the whole LSU defense was his signature play of the season. He had many more great ones. I wonder if Leonard Fournette's run today could be his signature run for this season.
Right now would get my vote.
So far,
oh,
that's
my
early.
Goodness. Yeah.
It's early.
Well, Fournette for the day, 228 yards. And he's finished for the afternoon. Second down here, 45-14. Johnson fakes the lateral and keeps it, but not for much. That's Arden Key, number 49. Well, let's take another look, Gary, at that
Vern, you said
reel.
it. This could be the signature run of this game, but could it be the signature run as people remember a player with speed, strength, ability to dodge? I mean, that one and the one where he ran over counters, those two were incredible.
Well, he shook two tackles on that one. That was a 29-yard run. And it's third down here with 4 yards to go. Kendall Beckwith in the middle. Johnson.
That's what is going to have to be part of the offense. I think Gus started out the season, as we look at fourth down, thinking, you know, with not a lot of experience behind Johnson, Sean White just a freshman, I'm going to have to watch how much I run Jeremy Johnson. He's not a natural runner, but I think he's going to have to be. I think he's going to have to run that power inside. They need the 11th player in their rush offense.
4th and 1. That's Sean White, the redshirt freshman quarterback from Boca Raton, Florida. On 4th down from the 40. 3 down for LSU. Left side, they've got the first down plus. It's Johnson who moves the first down chain.
Yeah, I remember when Gus said to Allie, we've got to find some running help for our defense. Will Muschamp might be the greatest coach of all time, but if you don't have an offense that can help it out, it isn't going to matter. So Jeremy Johnson's going to have to be the 11th runner in their run offense and just take the hits. That's all. There's nothing else that will spring this offense. They've got nothing else.
First down 10.
Then the passing game will come off of that.
Gotcha. This is Kerryon Johnson.
21. Kerryon Johnson. Going wide.
I'll tell you what, if you're in far stands with that sun in your eyes, hanging in with a score like this, sitting in that sun watching this game, you are an LSU fan.
That's right. Well, at least the Auburn bench has been enveloped in shadows now.
Yeah, I mean, this side on the shadow side is nice, but the sun side over there is brutal.
Left side, Rob Thomas. Ricky Jefferson makes the tackle on the clock at 7:39. 7:30 to go. And it's 3rd and 4. Late subs.
Vern, does Duke Williams have a touch in this game?
I don't believe he does.
He had one pass thrown to him, maybe 2 thrown to him. One was intercepted. I think he's maybe targeted twice. He's got 2 targets. Does he have any stats?
None. Down low, Rock Thomas makes the grab. He's got help going down the sideline and the help of Avery Young, number 56. No, you're right. I mean,
All-American receiver. Now remember, he was paired with Sammy Coates a year ago, but right now they can't find a way to get him the ball either.
There's Duke Williams. He's been thrown to twice for the season. He has 5 catches in what will be 3 complete games. He's at the top of the screen. Corner blitz. They go right. Rock Thomas, alley.
Thank you, Vern. Gary, I heard you mention that there's a hot side and there's a side in the shade. Well, I've been hanging out on the side in the shade that happens to be LSU's sideline. They picked it strategically. That way, when the sun started to shift, they could be in the shade for most of the game. And the heat really hasn't been an issue since the start of the second half. The players are turning down offers from the managers to take some water. They're not really wearing the ice towels. And Les Miles even kept his jacket on. I asked him at halftime if he'd take it off. He said, no, I like to be consistent.
Johnson. There's Duke Williams. But that's going to be way too little, way too late.
Yeah, but it's off the running quarterback type play. I think there's going to be a personal foul on this play and tacked on to the end of it. But you're right, Deion Jones got a late hit here, but Duke Williams has to be more a part of this offense. I think Deion Jones 45 was the late hit.
Personal foul. Targeting a defensive player.
Oh boy.
45 defense. The previous play is under further review.
Aha.
Well, we know almost anything close, he's going to be out. Here he is. Johnson coming out of it. Throws it. 1, 2. Oh, he's out. He's going to miss the next game.
Yes.
He launched at him, helmet to helmet. Now, it's not as big a crisis for LSU because of who they're playing, but it's still a silly play. That's a veteran who should know better.
Yep.
He knows. And you know, around here, you don't like to give anybody your spot, because a guy like Donnie Alexander or Duke Riley may get in there. You may not get back on the field, even when you're ready to come back.
That one seems very clear-cut. Next game at.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 45 is disqualified for targeting. It's half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
You know, last game we had a 6'6" Lorenzo Carter. Was that who it was? All
yes,
right.
It was.
He hit a 6'4" quarterback, and we speculated, but he was thrown out. This time, the quarterback's 6'5", and the linebacker's listed 6'1". There's no excuse for this one.
And so Jones was escorted as he headed to the locker room by Jamal Adams. And now picks up the trot. He will miss Syracuse. Johnson on first down. Got a man wide open. Touchdown. That is Duke Williams.
And matched up against Dante Jackson, a true freshman that time. Dante only 167 pounds, a young player learning how to play the corner position. Remember, this is a team that lost Jalen Collins, a player that they thought they would get back to the NFL, drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, but this time Duke showed the potential he has.
Daniel Carlson for the extra point. Perfect in his career, as you can see. And he remains that way with his 67th consecutive.
Let's look at this from the let's look at this from the Auburn side. Did they establish anything in the second half? Let's talk about that when we come back.
Dr. Jones, number 45, for targeting. And just to clarify, he will be suspended for the first half of the game at Syracuse. Is that Fournette back to return the kick? Well, a year ago he had a 100-yarder against Notre Dame. This, I'm stunned. I am stunned.
Hey.
This is a decoy, certainly. Yes. Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Maybe they feel maybe he's on the hands team.
There you go.
They're thinking it's a onside kick, and he's going to fair catch it.
I'd still leave him on the bench. I just mentioned that. He did have one of 100 yards in his freshman year. Daniel Carlson will kick off. Williams joins Fournette deep. And they do kick it deep. Let it go. 45-21. Okay, running through the SEC. Look at these three outstanding backs.
Yeah, let's adjust this one over here.
Okay.
Did I get the 8 in there? I did.
Yeah, right? You did.
228. Okay. They, yeah, those are three elite running backs, and Fournette doesn't have to take a backseat to anybody, does he? I'll tell you what, I'd put Anthony Jennings in if I was coaching this team right now. I would want my backup quarterback. You know, Anthony's been a starter here before. I would want him getting some meaningful snaps in a football game. It's a long season. If Brandon Harris gets nicked to win a championship, you may need both of them.
Here's the handoff to Brissett. He gets a fine ball to the line of scrimmage and comes right. Jonathan Ford made the tackle. Brandon Harris for the day, 11 of 16 for 75 yards. He's also carried 8 times for 66, 2 touchdowns. he's had a very effective day. Brandon Harris.
You know, Coach Cameron was kind of kidding him. He was a little bit complaining about not enough throws. And he goes, what are you talking about? You had 14. Marcus Mariota had 16. Mariota got NFL Player of the Week with 16 throws. You can do it. Quit complaining.
Number 76.
False start.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
And it'll be a second down. Brandon Harris, his first start of his career was at Auburn last year, 3 of 14 and a 41-7 defeat. And then, of course, he started last week at Mississippi State. A reminder that this is only the second game of the year for LSU. Their opening game here against McNeese State. They tried to play it. It was canceled after a 4-hour thunderstorm lightning delay and will not be rescheduled. Brosette again.
Vern, what do you think of this guy? Does he remind you of anybody? Anybody you saw Sunday night? Could he play in the NFL?
Yeah. Wow.
I know. He showed everything. Speed, power. I can tell you this, too, watching him practice. I mean, maneuverability, smartness, a lot of determination. But you know what? I got to tell you this. He's got great hands, and he can throw the ball, too.
That's right. Four to go. Harris, caught by Nick Brosette out to the 26-yard line. On first down, Devereaux Lawrence. Second down, made the tackle.
Well, we talked about what Auburn may have found in the second half, considering where they're going. Remember, they lost the game early to LSU in 2013 and found it later in the season. What did they find in the second half? I think that they have to use their quarterback in all areas, move the pocket around, and include him in the running game.
The geniuses from last season's hit drama are back. Don't miss the season premiere of Scorpion, Monday at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Jamie Keene with the punt, and it's taken at the 30-yard line by Marcus Davis. Tackled at the 45-yard line. Take a look at the LSU, the Auburn schedule.
Yeah, coming up Mississippi State, and then a couple of weeks off. The question you have now with a 24-point game, do you need more reps for Jeremy Johnson as he tries to kind of change this offense, or do you try to get another quarterback ready? They're going to go with Jeremy Johnson. You can make an argument either way. You know, they're not going to win the football game, but does Johnson need more reps to kind of break out enough so that they have some offensive hope going into the Mississippi State game?
First down 10, and he will open up with that first down play from the 44. Right side, Rock Thomas getting a lot of activity today. Well, how do you spend a Friday in Baton Rouge? Allie went on this little boat, went for a tour of a local lake. And what'd you find, Allie?
I found me a gator. I believe that's how you say it. I found me a gator. Well, spending so much time down here in the South, I had to get myself a pair of cowboy boots to fit in. So I thought I'd earn those boots, earn some alligator boots. What do you think?
I can't wait to see them. And that's an indirect promo for next week when we see the Gators, the other Gators.
On the offense,
in Florida.
5-yard penalty, second down.
Allie, I don't want to say you're young. We all know that. But you're, on a boat texting. That is not allowed.
Taking pictures is different from texting.
That's texting.
No. And this
That's texting.
You were either taking a selfie or you were texting.
The key is I was not driving the boat while texting. I was sitting as a passenger.
Under 3 to go. Johnson tackled by Devon Gottschall.
It looked like fun, though, out there. More fun than playing quarterback today for Auburn, basically, huh? Gus Malzahn and Will Muschamp are going to have to use all their abilities to get this team refocused and alive back in this SEC. They've got about, Mississippi State next week and then a couple weeks to rebuild the team.
And then a very improved Kentucky team that gets Florida tonight. South Carolina, Georgia playing this evening, and then, of course, Ole Miss into Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. 2:03 to go. And Kevin Phillips is on to punt. Tre'Davious White is the deep man for Kevin Phillips. This one's short. Oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry. I saw Tre'Davious White running. Yes, he faked me out. He was getting so far away from the ball.
He was trying to deke the Auburn cover guys, and he got you.
Yeah, he got me. Well, what did you learn about the defense today?
Well, you remember those defensive tackles and the attacking? Remember after that sack by Frank Aaron, and I said Ed Orgeron was going to kiss him? Well, he might not have. At least we didn't catch it. But some of his teammates did. Look at this. They were saying,
oh, great.
Now that's how you celebrate. And we're going to go to the lonely Kevin Tolliver. I'll tell you that. Remember him, the freshman corner in an SEC game. We only seen him twice. Once doing nothing, second time doing nothing. Two best highlights you can have if you're a corner.
That's right. Darius Geis with the carry on this one. 1:44 to go.
You got to be pretty good, and your defense has to be pretty good. Where you're a freshman corner in the SEC and no one can attack you the whole game. I don't even know if they went at him, did they? I don't even remember a throw in his direction. Incredible. He's a big talent. He committed to LSU in his sophomore year of high school and never wavered. Stayed with it the whole way.
Second down and 9. Auburn obviously has chosen to put a period to this thing. And we've got less than a minute to go. Next up for LSU at Syracuse, then back home. Next up for Auburn. They'll try to lick their wounds and head back to host Mississippi State in Auburn next week. This one's in the books. 45-21. Jeremy Johnson with a shaky first half. May have learned a little bit about himself in the second half.
Or at least the coaching staff did.
Yeah. LSU rushed for a modest 411 yards. And Fournette had 228 of those. Handshake, middle of the field. Tiger coach and Tiger coach. And it's time now for the Napa play of the game, presented by Napa Auto Parts. It occurred in the first half with number 7 getting a block from John Deacon-Moore. And watch this as he surges through Blake Countess in for the touchdown. That was a 40-yarder. Here's another look at the same play. The Napa Auto Parts play of the game. Let's go down to Allie, who is with Les Miles.
Coach, what a dominant win. You beat Auburn for the 8th consecutive time here at home, and you did it on the back of Leonard Fournette, who rushed for 228 yards. You said he was special, but how special?
Yeah, this is a quality group of young men. They're really committed to one another, and Leonard Fournette, all of the accolades and all of the descriptions that you can make of the guy. I mean, he's very, very special.
You said Brandon has great potential, that he'll only improve from game to game. What improvements did you see from him today?
Again, he managed the game. He made the throws that he needed to make. Certainly he wasn't perfect, but you know what? I don't know anybody that is. Made some plays with his feet. I mean, we're starting to look like the offense we're capable of being.
Congrats on the win, Coach. Thank you
very much.
That's a little scary, Gary.
LSU will be favored to win every game coming all the way up to the Alabama game. A lot of people pick them as their sleeper in this conference. You know what? They're no longer a sleeper.
No, this is a pretty good wake-up call delivered throughout the SEC. Tonight on CBS, NCIS New Orleans, and you saw the rest of it. Next weekend, our group will be in Gainesville for Tennessee at Florida. Our final score, 45-21. For Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce, Vern Lundquist saying so long from Baton Rouge. The Dodge postgame show is up next after these messages and a word from your local station.